Hi, Sherilyn here from Joyly. It's so fabulous to be here with the amazing Kimberly Miner from the Kimberly Miner Network. And we have been connecting on and off over the last couple of weeks in the C-Suite Network, where we're both Thought Council members. And you said you saw a little bit about Joyly, Kimberly, and you got so excited. Tell us why.
I was so excited, Sherilyn, because when I heard everything about what Joy does, is that it was right in line exactly what it is that I do with my Envision You. Is that it's all about reaching out with the people, about bringing joy. Of how can you bring joy in your life? How can you encompass everything that is embodies what it is that we're trying to bring out into the world. What I do underneath the Kimberly Miner Network is that I established Envision You, and Envision You was about talking about how can starting right here today that we can envision ourselves being in a better place. I always envisioned myself in the years that I was going through the adversity in my life was how could I envision myself being in a better place? And at a point in time when life wasn't so good, I always thought that I couldn't be um, in a different place at that moment, but in my mind, I could be in a different spot, which helped me get through times of adversity. And people used to always say to me, "How is it that you are able to get up and get back up and wipe yourself off and get move forward, Kim?" They always called me the comeback kid, and I was, and I always have been. And I always was able to have a smile on my face and feel like I had joy in my heart every single day, and always had a smile on my face. And I always have approached life with that no matter how difficult life seemed, that I could always find somehow that there was always something about life that had joy in it. And so when I was listening to what you said about joy and how, Joyly, its purpose was about bringing joy to people, I had to find a way to connect because I thought that's exactly what it was of what my mission in life is that how can you allow people to have joy in their life and envision themselves being in a different spot?
Wow. All right. We're going to talk about your summit. We're going to talk about your network, your speaking, your TV show. We're going to get to all that in the end. But if you don't mind, Kimberly, just because I think you and I have had similar backgrounds, we probably don't know that about each other too much, but just based on a couple of things that you're saying, you don't have to get real detailed, but if you could just give me a general story of your adversity and some of the things that you had to overcome to get where you are today. Could you share a little bit? Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, from the time I was a little kid, is that I never felt like I had self worth or that I had any self esteem. I could be in a room full of people and felt like that I wasn't as worthy as the people around me. And that went on for so many years to the point that by the time that I was in eighth grade, that I developed a eating disorder that grew out of control. From the time I was eighth grade through I was in college, I had a full blown eating disorder that led me to want to eat myself to death. And because of that, when I lost my identity, when I was not able to dance anymore, uh, not only did I lose my identity, but I had no self worth and I spun out of control. And when you have nothing to hold on to and you have no identity and you have no self worth, uh, you don't know what to do. And I found myself then going and finding myself in a relationship I had no business being in, which led to finding myself into an abusive marriage. And I spent 10 very long years in a very destructive, abusive relationship. which was even more destructive for my ability to find any worth for myself. And so it was a lot of years of uh, struggle. And then I had two children out of that. The best thing that I did for myself that I didn't realize that I did for myself was get myself education, which allowed for myself that when I got myself out of that situation, allowed myself to have a career that would allow for myself to take care of myself and my children and have something to fall back on.
I love that. I love that you're so vulnerable and you're able to share. I know I have a very similar story, very different circumstances, but it's it's I find that when it's time to speak about it, it needs to be spoken about it because the right person is listening. Is that right? Do you find that?
Yes.
Yes, but yes. And so I know that who's ever watching today is going to definitely have an experience just by hearing your story and know that there's hope on the other side. I'm going to take you through a little process around the Joyly process, around the Find, Be, Share formula. Do you mind?
Absolutely. Let's do
Look at
it.
you, just game for anything. I
Let's
just
go
love.
for it.
All right. So here's what I want you to do, Kimberly, if you don't mind. Just sit relaxed and just close your eyes if you'd like. You don't have to, but if you'd like, just close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in and just relax. And the whole idea of being on camera and pretty, and just exhale that. Take a deep breath. Let your breath go out. All right. This time, when you take in a deep breath, really deep, I want you to think of a joyful moment, something that was just so much fun, like you felt like all pistons were firing, everything was right. And hold it and exhale. Could you tell me about that one little jewel in Technicolor if you can? You can open your eyes if you want. Tell me what that.
Uh, I remember the moment when I decided that I was going to move to Arizona. I remember that moment as if it was yesterday. It actually was only 4 years ago. And I remember that uh, the feeling, it was so bright out. And I remember feeling excited. I remember feeling nervous and overwhelmed, and the possibilities just being endless. It just thinking about it now gives me, it still brings goosebumps to my arms. It just knowing that what was on the other side of the rainbow, of what was in front of me, it just the excitement of it. And just I remember getting in the car and just, even though it was 2,900 miles, just every day of knowing that I was getting closer and closer to what the next chapter of my life was, and wondering what that was going to be like, who I was going to meet, what was that going to be like, um, you know, what was my what was what who was I going to be meeting? What was the purpose of my life going to be? What was I going to be doing? Who was I going to be impacting? What was this company that I was going to be developing? What was that going to be doing? What was it going to be called? All that excitement. I was so overjoyed, and I remember the moment we crossed that line of Arizona, and just being like, wow, here I am. I can't believe that I'm doing this. It actually happened. I did what I said I was going to do, and here we are.
Congratulations. I'm sure there was a lot of trepidation along the way, but you did it. And I just think that putting one foot in front of the other and following your heart is the answer to a lot of our situations, especially when we're stuck or feel like there's no one out there to help us and support us. So congratulations. All right, go ahead real quick.
Yeah, you know what? When you're excited about doing something and doing something that is the unknown, that doesn't mean that there's not trepidation or
Yes,
nervousness.
yes.
There's all those things that are part of it and stuff. But if you don't, without taking a chance, you don't get to know what's on the other side.
Exactly. All right. I'm going to have you do the same thing one more time. Close your eyes. We're going to go with the crossing of the Arizona border. That was number one. We're going to do this again. One more deep breath. Relax and just feel the joy of that moment. All right. And then one more. We're going to think of one more nugget of joy, however old you were, where were you, what were you doing, what were you thinking, what were you feeling? And exhale. Oh, I can't wait to hear this one. Can you share jewel nugget number 2? Was there something that came?
It was, I remember the moment that my son was born. It was such a day of joy. He was so perfect. He had 10 fingers. He had 10 toes. I remember he was crying and stuff. And I remember the moment that they set him on my chest and he stopped crying instantly. The moment that he felt my heartbeat, the moment his head hit my chest. And I just remember that moment of joy. I never felt love like that ever before. And that moment of feeling that I was a mom, I knew that I was a mom, and how that the joy, you can't explain that joy.
I know it 3 times over. So I have
Yes.
3 beautiful daughters. So
I experienced it twice with
yeah.
my son and with my daughter. And you just in the longer they're alive, the more joy you feel.
Right. All right. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Those are both brilliant. And I got goosebumps on both of them. If you could give number 1 a word, what would the word be? Crossing the Arizona line, like what was it? Excitement? Was it accomplishment? What would you say it was? What would one word be?
It was probably it was inspirational.
Okay. And how about when your baby was born, both babies? What was the essence of that? The word, the just gotta have this thing.
It was just pure, unadulterated joy.
Joy. I love it. All right. So those were both beautiful. So if I could take those 2 words, inspiration and joy, and put them in a box, like if I was going to put it in something that I had to carry on the airplane, right? Can you just describe what that, did something come? I see your lights going. Your lights are like lit up. What would that box look like? Or what would you put it in to carry it?
I would, it'd have to be a carry-on box. And the box, it would be very sparkly. Because I would want everybody it would be so sparkly that people would want to question what that was. They'd be like, oh my goodness. It would be gold and purple, and it would be large, because coming to Arizona, and both my children, they are both larger than life. I adore my children. And when I made that choice to come to Arizona, it was a larger than life decision. And so you can't put those in a small bag. Oh no, those are larger than life decisions. And
Okay.
so be a large bag.
Beautiful. So I see you walking up that tamarack with the sparkly silver case, and it's bigger than life because that's how you're feeling. So what would be 1 or 2 ways that you could share that box before the end of the day today, because it's that big? What would be maybe just 1 way? What would be 1 way you could share that immense amount of inspiration and what was the other word? Joy, inspiration, and joy with the world before the day ends today, because I know that's the kind of girl you are.
Oh, I could see myself bringing that box, and I would share it on a Facebook Live, and I set that box where they could all see it, and I'd open that box and I would pull each item out, and I would share it with them, and I would describe it in detail of what each event was like. And I would use very fun and detailed, exuberant words to share with them so that each person would understand what that experience was like.
I just want to be on that Facebook Live or in that room with you and you're sharing that. That is so beautiful.
So how do you think this joy that you have, or this inspiration, the joy from your children, the inspiration from just going for it and going to Mesa, Arizona, leaving everything behind, how do you think that it affects you personally and professionally? Like, one of the things we like to teach over here is that when you focus on that joy every single day, like I'm sure you do, because you know what the other side of that is, it really impacts your life professionally and personally. So could you share with us a little bit about how your decision to kind of show up in that light has really changed your life?
Absolutely. It has changed my life tremendously every single day. Is that I get to, when I showed up here in Arizona, sometimes when we get caught up in in our in a zone, and we say, why is it that I can't get out of who I am? When I showed up in Arizona, I got to be whoever it is that I wanted to be. If there's something I wanted to be different, I got to absolutely be that different person. And so every day I get to be the better version of myself. Every person that I get to meet, they get to allow me to be a better version of myself, because have become a part of my life. And so they challenge me to be a better version of myself, because I want them. I challenge myself to do whatever I can to help them be a better person.
You're so sweet. I love you.
All right, let's talk about this summit. I'm fascinated. The whole just idea, your crew is growing. The amount of women that show up to your summit is expanding. I know the date is set for February. We've got COVID. So do you mind sharing a little bit about the summit and what your intention is there?
Absolutely. So the Envision You summits, I've got another one coming up in February. The Envision You, the whole focus of Envision You is that how can you envision yourself? And the basis of the summit is 4 premises, and that is own your truth, own your past, set an intention, and take action. And when you do those 4 things, our premise is that you own your power. How amazing is that? Nobody can take it from you. When you do those 4 things, is that nobody any longer can hold anything against you. And imagine where you can envision yourself of where your goals are and where it is that you want to go in life. That's what the whole premise is.
All right, now, and tell me about this TV show. We talked a little bit about it, but you said you have a whole crew. Who's your audience? Are you looking for guests? How can we support you?
We're absolutely looking for guests all the time. We want to, on the TV show, we want to help others empower themselves. There's so many times that in our career and in our personal life that we're feeling blocked. How many times do you find yourself where you feel like you're blocked in your career, that you're not asking for that raise, or you're not asking for that advancement? Why is it that you're not doing that? Or we're in this pandemic and you've been furloughed, or you feel like your job is going to be waned out because things have been changed in this. You've been looking like to go out as an entrepreneur and you don't know how to make that changeover. That's what we try to do. We bring guests in to have discussion points on a regular basis. And you know what? If there's things going on in your personal life, it bleeds over into your business life. Things going on in your business life, it bleeds over into your personal life. We have those discussion points on a daily basis. And we're always looking for guests to come on that are going to help our audience. And we're always here for our audience on a weekly basis. And we come out three times a week to make sure that we're there to get the word out on a regular basis for our audience.
Wow, that's incredible. So
I feel really good about hearing your joy, your inspiration, your your ability to stay focused on who you are and what you're doing. Are you experiencing any challenges right now? How are you doing in COVID? Kimberly, how's everything?
I think just like everyone else, we all have our challenges. I myself, have challenges too. I'm a people person. I like to be with people. I've had a point in time where I am at the point where I want to be with people. As much as I am so grateful that we're in a point in time where technology has allowed us to have the Zoom where we can interact and still see people and still conduct business. And I'm very grateful for that. I can't imagine if I didn't have that at all. I'm not sure what I would do. But I am ready to interact and be with people again. It's very difficult for me to not have that regular interaction and be on the go.
I don't think you're alone in that department in any shape, way, or form. I was just talking with one of my coworkers, and we were just talking about 2021 and coming out of the trauma and the culture shock, and just I think we're all just ready for something fresh and new. I
Yeah,
know.
I think a lot of us are absolutely.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of us thought that it was going to go on this long.
Yeah, exactly. And then the whole, when the election's over and hopefully that turns out and we have good results, and just the protests, and I don't know about you, but I took a few months off this summer and I just had to relax. Like I couldn't keep up with the news, and I rarely turn it on now. So for me to keep my joy, I this weekend I make sure I had some time to get out in the kayak, went for a long walk. I did things to let myself rejuvenate and be in that joy, because that's who I am. Like I don't want to be miserable and angry and have the news affect who I am as a human. So what are you doing to stay joyful?
That's exactly what I did this weekend. Is that I went with a girlfriend and we went up into northern Arizona, and we went and saw all the fall colors. And sometimes it's easy to allow ourselves to get so busy in the busyness of life and with work and stuff. And I am just as guilty of allowing myself to get consumed with getting absorbed with the goals that I'm trying to do and trying to get all that done. And I took advantage of the fact that my girlfriend said on a last minute whim, will you go with me up north to go see all the fall colors and stuff? And being down here in the desert area, it's easy to get so forget what that's like. And I said yes. And we went and did it. We left really early in the morning and we went up there and stuff. And we were out in nature. And nature is so amazing. It will allow you to have the grace of what it will provide you. It provides you grounding. It provides you the ability to be silly, to have laughter, to have a friend there with you, to have conversation, to allow you to breathe, to take a deep breath, to not be connected to a phone, to not be connected to all the stress that's going on in the world and stuff, to be able to have freedom. We were, climbing trees. We were just having fun. It's so important to have those moments and stuff to disconnect. You need that in order to be able to come back and to be able to disconnect so that you can be able to reconnect and be the better version of yourself.
I don't think anyone has said it any better than that. So that was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so very much. And what are you taking away from this interview today about yourself? How do you feel in general? I don't know why I asked that. I've never asked that before, ever.
Well, then that's fabulous.
I just think you're just glowing, and I can just see your smile. And I hope that, we produce some smiles of anyone watching today too.
How can you not smile? One, being with you. You are just the most lovely person. And, it's joy. And I love people, and I love the intention of bringing joy to people. I want to help people.
I got
So
you. Well, thank you very much for, yes, absolutely. And we'll put all the links in below so everybody can watch and connect with you and find out how to get in your events and on your studio platforms so that they can help you share more joy with the world and help people become the better version, the version that they envision of themselves. Because isn't it true? People think about this, right? But they never really take, a lot of people don't take action to get there. So, and that's how you help. Is that right?
Absolutely. It's hard to take the action, but it's amazing when you do how much lighter that you feel.
That's brilliant. All right, if you could stay on just a little bit after the broadcast and we'll collect all the details. So everybody, Kimberly Miner from KimberlyMinerNetwork.com. Please check her out. And it was a pleasure to have you today. Thank you so very much.